It's pretty wild when you think about it. How can a little kid see a car once or twice and then know what a car is forever, while some of our most powerful AIs need to be fed thousands, even millions of pictures to get the same idea? Well, that exact question, that gap between us and them, is what we're diving into today, looking at a breakthrough AI that learns a lot more like we do.
All right, let's get right into it. This isn't just some fun little thought experiment. It's one of the biggest puzzles that AI researchers are trying to crack. It's the core difference between just brute force matching patterns and having a real, flexible understanding of the world. And this chart really lays it all out. On one side, you've got human learning. It's efficient, it's intuitive, and it's amazing at taking a concept and applying it to new things. Then, on the other side, you have traditional machine learning. Yeah, it's powerful, but man, is it hungry for data. And it can be super rigid. The whole game right now is trying to make that right column look a whole lot more like the left one.
So this whole challenge, teaching an AI to learn from just a handful of examples, it actually has a name in the field. And it's really the key to building AI that feels less like a calculator and more like a thinking being. It's called few-shot learning. And the goal is exactly what it sounds like. We want to build an AI that you can show, say, just 5 pictures of a new animal to, and it goes, okay, got it, I know what that is now, just like you would with a child. We want to get away from this need to feed it a library's worth of cat photos just so it can recognize a cat. So why is this so hard? Let's take a look at why the current top-of-the-line AI models, the ones that are in our phones and cars, really stumble when it comes to this. For a long time now, the undisputed champs of computer vision have been convolutional neural networks, or CNNs. Seriously, these things are the engine behind almost everything visual in tech. Photo tagging, face unlock, you name it. And these CNNs have a superpower. It's a bit of a mouthful. It's called translational equivariance. But all that really means is they're amazing at spotting an object no matter where it is in the frame. A dog in the top corner is the same as a dog in the bottom corner. No problem. But, and this is a huge but, they have an almost comical weakness, a massive blind spot. While they don't care about an object's location, they get totally thrown off by its orientation. You take that same picture of a dog and just turn it upside down. All of a sudden, a standard CNN gets very, very confused. It's like it's seeing a whole new thing. It just doesn't get basic geometry. So to fix this pretty fundamental flaw, researchers have come up with a whole new angle. It's called the Group Equivariant Prototypical Learning Network. Yeah, let's just call it GEPL for short. And it's basically designed from the ground up to have geometric common sense. The way GPL works is actually this really elegant 3-part process.
So first, instead of a normal CNN, it uses a special group CNN that's symmetry smart. It just understands flips and rotations innately. Second, for every category it learns, like, say, robin, it creates this perfect, idealized prototype of a robin. Then third, when it sees a new picture of a bird, it just compares it to its prototypes and figures out which one it's closest to. That's it. So simple, but so effective.
And this quote from the research paper really hits the nail on the head. The magic here is that the GPL network doesn't have to learn about rotation from seeing a million rotated images. That understanding is baked right into its DNA, hard-coded into its very architecture. It's like being born knowing which way is up. But that's not the only trick up its sleeve. There's a second secret weapon. It's not just about seeing things differently, it's about how the AI organizes what it sees. And it uses a special training rule for this called contrastive loss, which forces it to build this incredibly tidy mental map of the world. The best way to think about it is like a librarian who's an absolute perfectionist. This training rule has 2 main jobs. First, interclass compactness. That means take all the pictures of birds and pull them into one tight, neat little group. Second, interclass separation. Now take that bird group and push it as far away as you possibly can from the car group or the tree group. No mixing, no overlap, zero confusion. And the results of all that organizing, it's a night and day difference. On the left, you see how an older model's brain looks. It's a mess. Things are scattered, overlapping, it's just fuzzy. But on the right, the GPLE network's map is pristine. The clusters are tight, they're distinct, and the boundaries are crystal clear. That organization is why it's so much more accurate.
Okay, so the theory sounds fantastic, but, talk is cheap. Does it actually work in the real world? To find out, the researchers gave GEPL one of the toughest visual quizzes you can imagine. They tested it on something called the Cube 200 dataset, which is basically designed to be a nightmare for computer vision. It's got pictures of 200 different species of birds. So we're not asking it to tell a bird from a bicycle here. We're asking it to tell a scarlet tanager from a northern cardinal, where the differences are incredibly subtle.
And the results are just wow. They did a one-shot test, which means the AI only got to see one single example of each bird before it was tested. The old standard AI, ProtoNet, it scored about 37% accurate, basically a failing grade. But the new GEPL method, it shot all the way up to over 58% accuracy. That's a massive leap forward. That's the difference between guessing and actually knowing. Now, an AI that's better at identifying birds is nice, sure, but the real story here, the reason this matters, is so much bigger than that. This is about a fundamental change in how we can teach machines to see and understand our world.
So, to bring it all home, you take a network that just gets geometry from the start. You combine it with a training rule that forces it to be super organized. And what you get is an AI that's way more efficient, way more powerful, and frankly, a heck of a lot more human-like in how it learns.
And that leaves us with a pretty mind-bending question to chew on. We just saw what happens when you teach a computer the basic built-in rules of physical space. It makes you wonder, what's the next fundamental piece of human intuition we could bake into an AI? And what kind of intelligence would that unlock?